Welcome back right there, still this morning on ITV. And in the middle of current challenges facing the country, with the planned protests and so many things, one major area that the government has not really been able to capitalize on is the tourism sector, which would have been able to provide opportunity for numerous Nigerians to be able to improve their standard of living. At the point in time, there were projects to really be able to galvanize that sector, but opportunities there have not really been totally utilized. But this present government has decided to also separate the cultural ministry from the Ministry of Information by creating Ministry of Culture and Ministry of Culture, Tourism and Creative Sector. And Johnny made this morning to take a critical look at the tourism sector as a catalyst for boosting the GDP of this country. Is no other person than Ambassador Prince Felix Ihore. It's a pleasure to have you this morning.
Thank you very much.
And also have with me a tourism expert talking about Markham Richard. It's also a pleasure to have you this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, let's hit the ground running right there. Let's talk about the tourism sector. Can we use the tourism sector to boost the GDP of this country, or is the government taking advantage of this tourism to this fullest? Mr. Witt.
Thank you very much for having me here this morning. I am Ambassador Prince Felix Ihore, the Director General, ECOWAS Food and Cultural Festival Secretariat, and the Nigerian Country Representative, International Jukwano Festival for Tourism and Culture, with a headquarters in Canada. So, tourism has started long ago, and the major output of tourism is centered on development, is centered on income generation, is centered on employment generation. And with the present government interest, high-level government commitment in tourism and the cultural sector of this country, I feel the government need to further be more committed by making sure that Nigeria becomes a tourist heaven. And how can you make Nigeria a tourist heaven? Everybody wants to go to America. Everybody wants to go to Canada. We want to go to France. We want to go to other beautiful cities in the world. But why don't we concentrate to bringing Nigerians in diaspora as well as other countries in the world to Nigeria, like what happened in First Act 77. And that is why Nigeria is leading the train this year in October by coming up with the ECOWAS Food and Cultural Festival, which is taking place in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, being co-hosted by the Cross River State.
Let me take a look at it. Let me take on Mr. Mark and Richard on this. Are there no tourist sites in Nigeria that people from outside Nigeria? We talked about the First Act 77, where a lot of people from different parts of the world decided to come to Nigeria to showcase Nigeria to the rest of the world. But ever since, we've never had that kind of scenario again. Are there no tourist attraction sites in Nigeria that people from outside the shores of this country can come in that will really lead to the boosting of GDP?
All right, thank you very much for that question. Concerning tourism sites, in Nigeria we have lots and quite a number of tourism sites in Nigeria. Should I begin with the southern part of the country?
Yeah.
We have a very vast and widespread coastline down in the south, which is good enough a tourism area for tourists to take a tour and enjoy themselves. We have physical structures that can amount to what we can call tourism sites, like what we have in the Abeokuta,
yes,
the Olumo Rock.
Olumo Rock, yeah.
These are tourism areas that people could always, visit. In the south side, we have places like the Tinapa that
Cross River State.
In Cross River State. We have the Obudu Cattle Ranch.
Yeah.
Now, moving up north,
yeah,
you have the Mambila Plateau.
Yeah.
We have lots of tourism facilities.
Yeah.
Or the ecotourism in Plateau State.
Yeah.
We have the confluence, Niger confluence, which is in Lokoja there. And up north, there are cultural festivals which we have in abundance in the country.
Yeah.
Right from the south, the north, and wherever you go, you have things that people can come pay a visit to say, yes, this is our the tourism we have in Nigeria. And we have lots of museums where we have our past history and the rest. Museums in Lagos, we have in Kano, we have in Jos, we have in SA, that's the stone museum. Calabar, all the stone sculptures that we have. So Nigeria, in terms of facilities for tourism, we really have quite a lot. And the human aspect of it, which is the festival, those ones are quite numerous. That it is what is currently driving tourism in Nigeria.
But let me go back a little bit, some few weeks back, where we have the Ojude Oba festival. It has always been there, but this last one was a single show of eyes because of the beautiful colors, arrays of dresses that came, and it went viral. This is just one of the numerous festivals we have in Nigeria. How come we have not really been able to leverage on things like this, like the Kenyans will do? You talked about the Uyo stuff, you talked about the Canada event tourism. How come we've not been able to leverage on things like that to galvanize the tourism? Because the Kenyans make so much money from the tourism. How come we've not been able to do that, Ambassador?
Thank you very much. To boost the GDP of this great country through tourism, certain components have to be considered and put into consideration. One of such is secured environment. And this is the area the security sector has to really come in. And that is why, as part of our plan for the ECOWAS Food and Cultural Festival, the Nigerian police or other security system are being invited to collaborate and be part of this system, this program. Then security is what promotes people to come to an environment, or to come to a community, or to come to a society. Once there is security, there is peace. Once there is peace, there is development. And once these three things are put in place, people would like to visit such an area. Secondly, the food you eat, qualitative food. People visit areas, communities, cities, and countries based on the kind of entertainment they receive, the type of quality food they receive, the kind of hospitality they receive from the people. And that is why, in a system where you have a xenophobic action, where you have volatile activities, where some of the people within that system are violent, or the place is not secure, people do not go to such area. And that is why we have been calling on our government to ensure that there is a continuous peace in the country. Happily, the present government is working towards that direction, and that is why they've been able to create two separate ministries. The Ministry of Tourism, as well as the Ministry of Art, Culture, and the Creative Economy. They were all together in the past. But now they have been separated in order to get maximum benefits from this ministry. And that is why, once we have these two bodies in place, with the kind of foreign representation or the PRO of our Foreign Affairs Ministry, with the kind of PRO we receive from institutions like the ECOWAS, like the Nigerian office of the permanent representative mission to ECOWAS. This is a body representing Nigeria in the ECOWAS, and this body should be able to translate Nigerian position to the world. And that is why, with what we have seen so far, when you have beautiful environment, like what the present minister of FCT is doing in Abuja, people would like to visit Abuja. People would like to come to taste the food in Abuja. And that is the more reason we are taking the ECOWAS Food and Cultural Festival to Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, being co-hosted by the Cross River State government, because they have the facilities that is required for tourism to thrive. They also have what you call enabling tourist environment, that is hospitality of the people, acceptability of the people, beautiful hotels, affordable hotels. Then you have a good transport system, either by road, by air, as well or land. Once these things are put in place, people will always like to visit such places. And this is why we are calling on government to improve on developing Nigeria. When we mean development, sustainable development that the Nigeria of our dream can really benefit from, the youths of our future can really benefit from. The Nigerian people in diaspora will be very, very much happy to say we are coming back home. Like what the Jukwano is all about. The Jukwano is a cultural festival in Canada coming up later in September this year. But what are they championing? They are bringing all Africans within the diaspora and Africans in Africa to Canada to really come and showcase African beauty to the world in the areas of tourism, cultural heritage, as well as investment promotion.
Now you mentioned Jucano. One thing that readily comes to mind now is the first act 77 stuff. A lot of people at that point in time felt it was waste of money. That the Nigerian government we had so much money in their hand and they were thinking about how to spend it. Before I get to you, let me take Mr. Mark and Richard that. Going down memory lane, when you look at the amount of investment on First Act 77 and looking at the tourism sector now, would you think the government wasted money on that First Act 77?
Well, thank you very much. To me, the investment on First Act was quite enormous, but it was worth its while when it took place. What we have left from First Act 77 is what Nigeria has thrived on and improved upon. We still have the National Theatre structure, which is there in Lagos. We have the Doba Hotel, which is in Lagos and in Kaduna. And though they may not be as updated as they should, but they are still standing out there. We have the First Act town, even the satellite town in Lagos, you know, the race course in Kaduna, which was part of the development, which gave the Doba a place to, for performance during the First Act. To me, these are not, it was not a wasted venture. Nigeria still has a lot of things to do with culture. And people benefited from, like the First Act town. People are already living in all those houses.
People taking over the property.
The National Theatre has been where the Ministry of Culture started, because there was a Ministry of Culture and social welfare. That was the first place the ministry was housed before it was remerged with information, and now there's a Ministry of Arts, Culture, and the Creative Economy.
Yeah.
What happened during FESTAC, I would say, was a wonderful thing to have happened to Nigeria, because no other nation has held it the way Nigeria did.
Yeah.
Since 77, we have had stories of one country trying to host, but at the end of the day, it will not happen.
Yeah.
So the venture on whatever was invested in that FESTAC 77, I would say, was not a wasted investment at all.
Okay. Let me move away from that now. Let's talk about the role of media in boosting the tourism sector. As an expert, for someone who is involved in so many projects, you talked about your event coming up and stuff like that. What is the role of media in helping to galvanize the tourism sector?
For any event, program, or activity to succeed, the publicity from the media community become paramount. And that is why the media, being seen from the fourth realm of the estates around the world, boosts a lot of activities that has to do with tourism, investment promotion, and development through their high-level advocacy. What makes business thrive is advocacy. Are the people aware of what is coming on board? If they are aware, what are the information surrounding this? As the media system, they give a lot of information, circulation of viable information to those that cannot be reached physically. That is a major work of the media. Then adverts and publicity. These are the roles the media play in promoting activities that can boost the economy of a nation or improve in the GDP of any nation. At this point, the media cannot also do very well. The media cannot also do very well where you have violent conflicts. The media can only report in a free and a comfortable environment. The media can only be effective too when they are given the opportunity to transmit the information they receive in raw form, not doctored. And that is why we have decided to see the media as a major partner in our forthcoming event, both in Uyo Calabar Cross River State, in the ECOWAS Food and Cultural Festival coming up in October, as well as the event coming up in September, the Jukwano event coming up in Canada.
Okay, looking at the way things are right now, well, let's talk about the support from government. Let me take Mr. Makam on this. Let's talk about the support. As the former director of the Ministry of Information and Culture, now that has been separated right there, what enabling do you think the government has also provided in kind of an enabling environment for the tourism sector to thrive?
Yes, for the sector to thrive, the tourism sector, the government has done quite a lot. And as the DG, ECOWAS Food and Cultural Festival, has rightly said, the government has seen the reason for the development of tourism and culture. Left to me, and from what people have been putting across, and seeing the monocultural economy that Nigeria has in place, we are looking for options out, ways out to help the petroleum sector, not to be the only
source of revenue
for the government. So tourism and culture are seen as one other aspect of one aspect that can make the economy, move from point A to point B. So the government, on realizing this, they created the Ministry of Tourism separately, and the Ministry of Arts, Culture, and the Creative Economy. And already we know what the creative economy is putting up, in Nigeria. Our artists are all over the places. When we come to film making, we are second to maybe, is it America or India?
India, yeah.
So the government has really put in enough efforts. Apart from the creation of the ministries, they have put up these policies in place.
Okay.
They are supportive of all the policies that the people have come up with, though some of them, like the cultural policy, is yet to be ratified. It has been made for some years back.
Yeah.
But efforts are being made. Is at the National Assembly for final ratification before making it out for the general public. Though we are still using the old cultural policy.
Yeah.
So I can say, even with just this creation of another ministry, I believe that the government is supportive of this, the development of tourism in the country. Then we have all the agencies that the ministry has, and all these agencies support the main ministries in doing all the practical aspects of the job that needs to be done in the cultural sector and tourism sector. Okay,
thank you so much. Just before I let you go, let me have we talked about some of the Cross River. There seems to be the haven of tourism in Nigeria, but there are other tourist states in the country. But what's so special about Cross River that makes it a haven for so many tourist experts wanting to go there? Because we have Kogosi, Warm Spring, in somewhere in the southwest. There are other notable places. We talked about the Abeokuta, the Olumoro, and so many things. But why do we always think about Cross River being a best eliminating environment? Why can't the other states also key into that?
So, okay, hosting of events depends on so many aspects of the society.
Yeah.
One, Akwa Ibom State hosting this event, co-hosted by Cross River State, becomes very, very much important because the places we are measuring, they are relatively very peaceful.
Okay.
Secondly, they are developed.
Okay.
They have the resources and the facility to host the kind of events called the ECOWAS Food and Cultural Festival, which is bringing into the country over 10,000 delegates from within the 15-member countries of ECOWAS, the African countries, and other countries of the world, where we will have major exhibitors, we will have major investors, and these investors will be coming up with a lot of investment. And once there is flow of investor into a society, investment follows. And this investment, these locations have the capacity to serve as the hubs of such investment. For one reason, there is a flight connection from all parts, from Abuja, Lagos to Uyo and Calabar.
So are you saying
there is a road network, good road network, that can really showcase the beauty of Nigeria, like what you don't have in Abuja, like what you have in Kano, like what you have in Lagos. Presently, the society there seems to have been the society that so much received the hosting of this event with warm reception. For your information, we have a secretariat of the ECOWAS Food and Cultural Festival and the Jukwando Festival in Akwa Ibom State in Uyo. specifically 1 Kevin Street off Accra Road. Then we also have the National Secretariat here in Abuja,
So
prepared to host not just ECOWAS alone, but the world. And during this period, there's going to be a lot of government commitment, and that is why we have invited Mr. President to come along with his colleagues in the West African sub-region as well as the Africa and around the world, to call them to Nigeria, to say Nigeria can also host the world, like what Canada is doing, like what America is doing, and what other countries are doing, like the France and even Qatar.
So, but what about Edo State? What about Ogun State? Did they not have those networks that can really be?
They have, but in hosting an event, there's always a period and season. Okay. Presently in Edo State, they are preparing for an election.
So it may not be the right time for
it. May not be the right time for that, and that is why you cannot take such program to that place based on the time and the season of this program.
Okay.
So these are the reason behind this. Okay. And Nigeria is lucky to say we are hosting the ECOWAS Food and Cultural Festival when our own president, His Excellency President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, is the chairman of ECOWAS. Okay. So he's bringing his people home. Okay. He's bringing the African diaspora home. He's bringing other friends around the world because he has been visiting other countries. So he has to use this opportunity to also invite these people to come and enjoy the beauty of Nigeria, to enjoy the good hotels and the beautiful faces.
Thank you so much again. When you mention beautiful faces and you are going to Cross River and Akwa Ibom State, a lot will definitely come to mind. We'll get. I must say big thank you to you, Ambassador Prince Felix Obado, for joining us, and also I must also thank you to Maka Richard for also joining us this morning to talk about the tourism sector as a catalyst for boosting the sector right there. I'm going to take a quick break right now as we link up with our Benin Network studio. Something.